Okay. Dude, why? It was not recording and I was talking to nothing for like 1 hour. I was bitching about this game. And it wasn't recording. Anyways. I just want to talk about the current state of Lars, which I think is underwhelming and underpowered. So, and the latest buff, they made it, or the latest patch I should say, they made it so that this has a bigger hurt box and throws are no longer homing, okay? And this is essential. I believe they also made it so that like Silent Entry 2 has a bigger hitbox or hurt box, which I thought it already did, but that's even worse. But here's what I'm gonna talk about, okay? The reason why I think he is just so bad in this game, like I think he is literally bottom tier with all the latest patches right now. Like he is the worst character in the game. When I'm playing Lars, it usually feels like I'm just doing this at the high tier, like high ranks, right? You're fighting against like another Goddess Supreme or like Tekken God and above. This is all I'm doing half the time because it's just so hard to start his game and it's just so hard to keep out with Lars. You just have to hold back. You can try to sidestep, but his sidestep is not like the best. It's so clunky. I think it's like below average in this game, like Tekken 7. Like he can sidestep more than Tekken 7, but it's still not as good as a lot of characters, right? Anyways, the reason why I think he's so underpowered and underwhelming is, like I said earlier, he has no counter hit game, and all his good moves are locked behind stances. Like they just take too long to get to. Like you're telling me like this, like I need to start pressure. This is like the 40 frame move, and they could get jabbed, and you could get armored too. And this too. This is very slow. You can get jabbed and sidestep, right? This very linear. You can get sidestepped, and you know if they block it, you die. So I just think that he's bad. Like he's really bad, and he needs like buffs to keep up. Okay. I would say like he just needs some keep out, bro, and some kind of counter hit game. Like everyone I've seen, like you know, tournament matches recently, dude, he has such bad comeback potential. Like Lars has such bad comeback potential because he just doesn't have the counter hit game. You know, this is mainly his game plan. You do +6, and you just lose your turn because you try to check them. You lose your turn. Like he just doesn't have any like string mental frame advantage. You know, that's the thing that he suffers from. It's like literally just 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Like you do this to check, you lose. You do this, oh, you're -11, you lose. You know? If you just don't hit them, you lose. Or you do this, oh, that's nothing. Oh, look at this. Oh, LE1, oh, I lost my turn. Oh, look at this. Oh, -9, I lost my turn. So I just think that he needs like something to help him just start, you know, and the fact that all his moves are just like all the way back here in the stances, he just can't do anything, dude. He can't do anything. So it's like, you know, you look at Brian, he has like quarter circle back 1, +5, drag running 2 still, you know, law dragon hammer, you know, king armor, you know, king like, what is it, forward 1 to check them, you know, forward neutral 2 is still very good, even though this got nerfed to like +3, that's still really good. He has like a lot of good stuff still, you know, like good things to keep people in check, you know. It's just like, even his 10 string is really fucking good, his alley kicks, you know, like shit like that. But the thing is, Lars doesn't have any good strings or any good comeback potential, no good counter hits, and I think I'm going around in circles. That's all he needs, okay? So the first thing that I think he needs is they need to remove this, okay? They don't need to remove this, but basically LE2 needs to do 5 or 10 more damage. See this? 79. If you don't have heat, it does the same amount of damage still. So the reason why I think this is important is because like let's look at this. I'm using 1/3 of my heat, 1/3 of the bar to do stuff, and afterwards I only have like 1 mix. I mean, I know that activated heat, but let's say if I did it. So let's say it's like this. Oh, I'm gonna manually activate. So let's say the opponent does like a launch punishable like snake. I now have 1 bar left and can do only 1 mix-up, and that's it. And I got the same amount of damage. I think that it just needs to do 5 or 10 more damage to keep up, because you're losing a bar, and now, you know, not enough damage. Now you can only apply 1 mix-up, and I think that that is something that should have been changed a long time ago, but for some reason, I don't know, they just never thought of it. Alright, anyways, the next move that I think needs to get buffed, oh my bad, that needs to get buffed is 1-1-1, alright? So, I need to not think. So, 1-1-1 is dog shit. It's just not good, okay? So, the whole point of this is a keep out shit. But, Lars is a type of character where if you are +6, that, +6, +8, it doesn't matter. He's not scary, because you know that the next hit he's going to do is -9. He's going to lose his game, okay? And, you could just swarm him because he doesn't have keep out tools besides 1-1-1, but 1-1-1 even then is not advantageous. Like if someone is attacking me, I do this, I get into heat, then it's my turn. But let's say if I don't have heat, right? It does not matter if you're 5 and crouching. It's not scary because I don't have any counter hit tools to really launch you or like really do any advantage, right? So if you were to mash and I do this, that's the most I get. 40 damage. It's just he is lacking in damage comeback potential. So I think what he needs is 1-1-1 should still like knock back down like it did back in Tekken 7, right? So once you knock back down, you could pretty much guarantee down 1+2. Like that's really it. Like this, and they knock back, like knock backwards, you get a free down 1+2. So in heat, I think that, so like pretty much when I say that, it should also, when it knocks back, it should also wall splat. Like back in Tekken 7, right? Back in Tekken 7, it would wall splat, and he had like comeback potential. Like, oh, you're gonna try to mash me? Boom, and then they would wall splat like this. You know, just get some more damage. Because if you compare that to like Brian, Law has a counter hit launcher that, you know, Dragunov has a counter hit launcher or some kind of shit like that. Bears even, like dude, he's just lacking in comeback potential. Like seriously, Lars is so bad, you don't see pro players use him at all. Like, when was Lars in the top 8? Like at an actual Tekken tournament, like a real big TWT tournament. There's like no one that chooses him, you know. Like no, like I don't mean like no, like, you know, I don't mean to put down like Kraken Atlans, right? Like, you know, there was like a recent tournament where it was like Shin Akuma using Lars versus Kraken Atlan. Like, the fact that Shin Akuma has been playing Lars and playing Tekken for so long, and he lost to Kraken Atlan just for using John, you could see how hard, like even in the match, it was so hard for him to start anything. Anytime he got in any stances or anything, he just got disrespected by Kraken Atlan, you know what I mean? And like just the John in general. It's just like, dude, he is lacking. He's so bad compared to all these other characters. Like 1-1-1 just doesn't help him stay on top of the game. So this should wall splat, knock people back down, and it should guarantee down 1+2. So pretty much what I'm saying is this should be on normal hit now. Oh my gosh, not counter hit. But anyways, so this is the normal no heat. This is the neutral. Should guarantee that. That's all it needs to do. Then it's like, oh, now you have some kind of decent keep out tool, some damage to make you come back, you know? And I think that in heat now, this should be a counter hit launcher, because Lars literally has no counter hit. Like, he's risking his life. So pretty much even if he does this, he now has to choose, hey, should I lose my turn or should I try to get the damage? But even if they block it, I lost my turn. I lost my turn. So you see what I mean? It like builds up, stop, build up, stop, or build up, stop, build up, stop. You know, he doesn't have like any really good mind games like a lot of these other characters where they could just, even if you were to block it, it's still their turn. You know what I mean? Like, you still have to take pressure from them. But Lars is really like, oh, I started, now I stop. Now we're back in neutral, and Lars is really weak in neutral. He just doesn't have much. So that's what he needs. You know, he needs something. So 1-1-1 in heat. They pretty much counter hit Lars, right? If you do this, this should pretty much take them out like that. It's sort of like a Law Dragon Hammer on counter hit. You know, it should make them really fly up in the air. You know, that's what he really needs. All right. Now the next move that I think needs to get buffed. We should turn this off. The next move that he needs to get buffed is 2-1. Okay. So 2-1 is good and all. It's a really good 10 frame punish, but this is sort of like that Steve Lionheart situation where I don't want to use my frames to apply a very shitty 50-50 and possibly lose my turn. You know, this is what he sucks at. Okay, so like, oh, if I do this and he blocks, I lose my turn. He does this, I go in, I lose my turn. You know. And there's just so many other factors that can make him lose a turn. Like if I do this, he does heat burst, I could get floated and just die. And imagine that's like such a waste. I just wish that you could cancel it. Like if you do 2-1 back, you cancel and you're still standing and you're able to do like down forward 1, right? Because this is the only mid you have to check while standing forward. But this is -6 and you lose your turn, right? So I'm just saying, if you do 2-1 back and you can check the down forward 1, that would be nice, you know? Like you're just literally crouching, and that sucks. Like you literally lose your turn. Like, oh, am I supposed to do this and lose my turn? Do this, you know? It just really is not really fun. So 2-1 back should go back to neutral. That's what he needs. Now, this is very important, okay? This is continuing off of 2-1, okay? So, if you take a look at, let me see. You take a look at his limited entry stance. It's not good, alright? It's really not good. So, why do I say it's not good? Because there's just, like I said, there's too many factors, okay? So imagine if I have a 10 frame punish, I got that turn, but the opponent could just do this. Or they could just do Rage Art. It's like, it's insane that I am still using this and I lose. You know? So you could float him out, but you have to get perfect timing. You just have to slightly delay, like at the right time. Can't do it. Right here? No. But I'm just saying, it's possible. Alright, you're gonna have to take my word. I can't get it, but it is possible to float him out. Let me see. Yeah, like that. So, but that's on block. But you could still do it on play. It's very possible. But you get what I mean, right? So, it's almost like, even if you were to do the right choice, right? Like this. So let's say he's doing that. I'm gonna go low. It doesn't change anything. Even though this is +4, this is normally on hit. This is just LE1 in normal hit. Right? And the issue arises when you are fighting characters with high heat engagers that are armored. Like Azucena, Eddie, Fang. Even King's back 3 is a high, and it launches in the air, right? So, if I am doing Lars, like I think we'll just switch to show how insanely stupid this is. Like, this has been in the game forever. This is why 2-1 needs to cancel. Okay? You should be able to cancel 2-1, but this should make limited entry scary because like look at this. Oh, wrong move. Yeah, so, but, I mean, this pretty much shows what the issue is, right? So, even if he does low, it doesn't matter. You're only +4. It doesn't matter. Then I can just do this and just ignore your +4, right? It's not scary. Oh, my bad. See that? See how cheap that is? So even if you are like plus, you know, like this is on hit, right? You see how stupid that is? On hit, I'm able to still mash out. It's insane. Like, this is what's happening right now. And imagine if I'm just using someone with like a heat engager. So my resolve is that LE1 should be a counter hit launcher. Like, it should be a counter hit launcher to really scare the shit out of people, because dude, it's so hard to get into. It's so hard to get into. You have to use a 10 frame punish, or you manually go here. Or you could do this, but you're -1. So this means you lose in all options if you do these two moves, because they're 17 frames. They're very slow. Like, a single duck jab will kill you. Armor move, kill you. It's like, it's really bad. So I think it should just knock down. Personally, I think it should do a counter hit launcher like that, where it immediately tornado screws, so that it's like, oh, it's actually like fucking scary. Or it could just do something where it knocks knock someone down and allow like some kind of Oki follow up like that. It needs to guarantee Den 3 plus 4, because that means this being guaranteed allows him to go into a Send mix-up, which is really good Oki for Lars. Like, this is the only thing, even though it's like, you know, -6 return, I think the potential is there for you to like choose, you know. And you could even do another launch afterwards like this. That's very good. Like, he needs it, you know. And the fact that LE1 just is not, you know, no one has to respect it is kind of fucking insane. So LE1 needs to counter hit launch. Preferably this. Well, I dropped the combo, but preferably that, you know. Okay, now the next move. I think this move needs to get buffed like very, very ASAP, okay? The next move I'm talking about is Sentry. This move is ass. Like, it's not good. The first thing is, it's very hard to get to, right? You could do this, into this, but you lose. You could get jabbed out of, and you could pretty much lose to armor, rage art, like pretty much every, you know, every cheesy thing, right? You can't really sidestep this move, but who's sidestepping after you do this? It's not really allowed to. But you could get jabbed out of, armored, rage art. It's like really fucking bad. So I think it should be +5, because this is not only is this very hard to get into, but you get no advantage. You are at 0, so you have nothing. They duck jab, it pretty much beats all his options. Duck jabbing, sidestepping beats all his options. Like, you literally are +0, and he's gonna try to jab, like, you know, heat engage check you, he loses. He can't do anything. He does this, nothing. This loses to while standing 4 and duck jab, and this is his counter hit too. So the reason why I think it should be +5 is like they have to respect this move. They have to respect down forward too. I'm gonna talk more about what they should make about down forward too, but it should be +5 to at least, you know, make sure they respect this, you know. Like, it's very hard to condition people to let Lars start anything, because you're only at 0. You can't get anything started. It's dog shit. It's bad, dude. I also think that it should counter hit launch, because, you know, something like a dragon hammer, like, or a back one from Brian, you know, something that really makes people like, oh shit, it's plus, and I have to really respect it, because like I said, you know, you go to Den 3 into this, it should be scary. You know, it's just so hard, because you could get jabbed out of, you could get rage arted, everything. It should be +5 in counter hit launcher. It should be the same thing as like their back ones, Brian back one, and Law, you know, Dragon Hammer. It'll allow you to get some kind of damage. I think this is not good. This is really not good. So buff that move. Anyways, next move. It's very simple. So down back forward, it's +5 this game, and I think it was like +6 in Tekken 7. This needs to be +6. So the reason why I say so is because it loses to characters who have parries and flash, right? Pretty much.
Get ready for the next
that's
battle.
the biggest issue, is that I'm doing a launch punishable move, and now you're telling me that I still don't have my turn. Like, I die for this move and I still don't have my turn. Like, look at this. And flash trades with this. So I just think that this should be +6 just so that it doesn't guarantee a parry. And if you're gonna do, like, you know, down back forward or while standing too, you should get punished because that leads into stance missiles, right? So I think that's fair. But if you're just gonna do something as simple as a while standing forward to just check, you shouldn't lose to that, you know. It's a very simple buff, so it's just +6 to allow while standing forward checks, you know. It's like a down forward 1 check pretty much. Next move. This move is still very useless from Tekken 7. You can use it in combos and wall enders, but it's not like optimal damage and it's pretty useless, okay? So I think it's this is the move I'm talking about. Let's see, yeah, block off. So forward 4-2-1. Useless move. I think that this should be a string mind game that he should be allowed to have. Like, you know how Brian is like, and Zafina, they have strings that like, oh, when should I stop? When, you know, when are they gonna stop their string? This should be jailing. All 3 hits should be jailing. On hit, on block, should all be jailing. You see how the first hit and then the next 2 are nothing? What is the point of using this? It's been useless for like a long time, you know? So if this jails, you're not really like that advantageous to like plus JJ. It's just really chunky damage to check people, you know? I think that that's okay. To just have chunky damage is like, that's good. So the reason why I think it should be like that is because it should also allow him to go to silent entry, right? Like, we have this to go to silent entry, we have this to go to silent entry, but the difference is that this is a 12 frame punish, and it only goes to Sen, right? And this goes to Den only. This goes to Den. This goes to Den. But you never want to use this because there's nothing to scare people with. Forward 2-1 has nothing to scare people with. Forward 1-2-3. You know, it goes to dynamic entry. So if this could go to silent entry, it's like a balance, you know, like, oh, you have an option to do that and you have an option to do that. So forward 1-2-3 is like a counter hit tool like this. So you have like a launch. People have to respect it. But I think forward 1-2 in general is just a very bad move. Too much work to condition people into, you know. But this move should be the same thing. It should be the same thing. It should be able to jail, allow you to go to silent entry by holding forward. So this leads into the next move, okay? Forward 1-2-1. So this is just a button. See that? -14. I think it should be a counter hit launcher, just like Tekken 7's Lars 213, which I gave them the suggestion and they did buff and follow what I said, which I think is really cool. So I'm the dude who made the Lars wish list back in Tekken 7, but this is what I think he should do, okay? This should crumple stun. It should pretty much be like this. So it gives you this mind game of like, oh, if he stops, you know, oh shit, I gotta watch out for that. I mean, it's not really needed, but I think it would be nice so that he has some kind of comeback potential, dude. So the reason why I say that is because this is like, look at how far it blasts. Then I lose my turn. I literally lose my turn. Like, I literally cannot follow up right now. I do this, I lose because they can back roll. As soon as they back roll, where's the back roll? I don't know how it is to make them. Is it quick back roll? You can literally back roll. So it's like, you see how far that is? And I lose my turn. I can't even catch them with my move. This, silent entry 2, I can't catch them. I can't do anything. So I just think that if it was a counter hit launcher, it would be very nice. Okay, now the next move. This move is very useless now. It's been overridden. Okay, it's been overridden. The next move I want to talk about is forward, forward, 3. It's -3, and it just doesn't do anything but 5 more damage. So the only time you want to use this is when, you know, your opponent has like 32 HP and you just want to kill them and end it, okay? But it loses to this. Forward, 2 is superior in every way. Like, most situations, just use this instead. So why would you want to use this, right? You have Den 1 to check everything. They can't jab, they can't sidestep, they're gonna try to rage art, try to armor, hit like burst. This does not let them do that. It's a tiny check, but it does everything you want, right? So in general, it does more damage than 32 damage. It does more than 32 if that's what it's. And if you do check it, you can end it with this. And that's a huge damage, so you can get even more damage, right? But forward 3 is just useless. You're -3, you push them very far back. Look at that. They do, you pretty much lose your turn because you're -3, right? You could just backdash, but it's just so hard to even get close to, you know, good opponents, right? And you know, I am just saying this as like a, you know, higher rank playing, you know, Lars player, right? Higher rank playing Lars player. You just really don't. You just don't see people use Lars, and I just think it's like, bro, he needs buffs, bro, like really bad, right? So I think the only thing that Lars needs is forward 3 should crumple stun. Not crumple stun, but it should do that wall splat, where they like get hit from the wall and they come back down, and you're like +18. Because Lars is not scary at the wall, alright? He's not, and it's like, if you know what he does, he's just not scary. If you lab him, he's not scary. What can he do at the wall? Oh, this he loses his turn. He doesn't really have any wall splatting moves. If he does, he loses his turn, you know? You just punch him, you just hold back and you just wait. He doesn't have any good wall splatting moves. And usually if they are, they're very launch punishable, like this. Mid-high, you know? This, -12. It's like he doesn't have anything, you know? And he risks trying to wall splat you again. So you're gonna see most Lars player play at a range like this, so they can punish you with back 3-4. But if they made 4-4-4-3 come back, he's able to play at a range that is very, very risky, but very advantageous for him at the same time, which is I think, you know, he kind of needs. Because why would you get them work so hard? You are a combo character who can, you know, insane wall carry, right? You have insane wall carry. You get them here, but now you have to play at this range. Because, oh my god, I have no wall pressure, you know? It's atrocious, dude. It's atrocious. You do this, you lose your turn, and then you lose wall pressure. So, this should just be like +18 or +21, where they're like, their back hits the wall, and you have giga frames, alright? That's what he needs. Next buff. This move is just so bad now, okay? It's insanely bad. So what am I talking about? We're gonna be talking about the avalanche flip series. Avalanche flip, right? So the fact that they nerfed throws now, this is useless. This is a useless move because this was a way for Lars to check sidestepping, and you know, if you do the kick version, you're even more linear. So they're both useless, okay? So I think the only buff that this could do is that, you know, there also isn't really a mix-up between this one and the throw. Like, you can react to the throw. You just hold back. There's no reason to like try to duck that, you know? He loses his turn in both situations, so what's the point? Like, man, that is very bad. So I think the only thing that this should do is this should forward. Look at that slam. That should forward. And then if we're gonna go to the Avalanche 4, which is this one, I think this should be +5 on block, because now there is no mix-up. you know, oh, I want to try to throw you, you better duck it, otherwise, you know, I'm gonna be +5. Then we have some kind of mix-up going on. You know what I mean? It makes sense for this to be +5 on block. Like, the reason why it should be +5 is so it could do that counter hit. You know, this is another way I can check you. You're gonna try to hit me after I do that. I can check you with this. You know, that's what he really needs. So. This should also, what is it? This should also floor break as well, because it's very bad. I think it's very bad, and you know, it's hard to do this because they're both so linear and they're both so slow. And you know, his upward 4, his avalanche flip has a bigger hitbox. So this should wall splat or force splat. This should force splat, but this should be +5 on block because it's like so linear. And then you actually have to start ducking. I mean, you lose to sidestepping, but you know, that's like the option select. That's the option select. But that should be a tool that he should have. Now, really quick, this is like another very quick one. This should be +3. It's just it makes no sense to be 0. It's in the same boat where you do this and you don't really get anything out of it, and the duck jab beats every one of his options. This should just be like +3. So you can check them with this, or you could check them with this. It just makes no sense to be 0 because it's just, he literally loses to anything. Duck jab, while standing 4, armor, you know, it's just so bad. And this is a very slow move. It's very short range. Like, look at this. It's just like not good, right? So you're gonna play at this range. One backdash pretty much beats me, you know? It's insane. It's just not really good. Counter hit too, not really rewarding, you know. +3 will really allow him to, you know, force you to sit down, and it's like 18 frames, dude. It's slow, very slow. So this being +3 allows him to just, you know, check you. Oh, you're gonna do that? Oh, I still have like a while standing mix-up too, you know. That would be very good, very good. Next move, that should be buffed. So it's down 3-1. Okay? So the reason why I think this move needs to be buffed is because it fits his tool set, okay? And it's been useless forever. I know you could do like wall combos with it, but why would you do that if it doesn't set you up for anything? Like, let's go at the wall. It's not really that good. Like, one of the things you can do this, but it's not like as any use. Like, if they refuse to get up, it forces them to get up, but it's like not even a lot of it. I can't get them, but usually if you get them, they get pulled at a weird angle. But even then, that OP that you pull them at is not very good. Let me try it. Let me try one more time. See if I can get it. I have to do like quick back roll. Yeah, I can't get it. I can't get it, but it's not really useful in any way, you know? It's like, it's one of the worst moves I've ever like seen since like Tekken 7, and it's only if people refuse to get off the floor, which is when you want to use it, but that's like, you do like 2 damage, like it's really minuscule damage, you know? So the reason why I think this should get buffed is because you don't see it a lot, and it's a really good string miner. So if you see this, it doesn't jail. I could launch him. It's really dumb. But the reason why I think it should jail is because, you know, this is a string mining, right? So if I try to punish the first hit, this, let me try to block. Try to while standing 4, I get hit. So this leads into the second buff. Okay, the second buff, like, it should jail like this. It should pretty much jail like that one too. The second buff is that this on counter hit, down 3-1, the second hit should be plus 10, just like this. And guarantee a limited entry mix-up, right? And going back to what I said earlier, if you go hold 2 back, 2-1 back, you're gonna have plus 8, So now it's like, oh, I'm back at being plus because you try to punish me, It makes more sense for me to do that. Like, to me, it makes a lot of sense that, oh, you try to punish me and I counter hit you. Now I can do this, and now I'm back at plus 8. So, try to do something. You can't really sidestep me because even though I'm the most linear character in the game, it makes a lot of sense for him to, have this kind of tool because it is a high risk, not very reward, but it's a very good tool, Sort of like this, very high risk, low reward, and you can just poke with this, but this is -3, which I think is good, because, high risk, high reward. Now, the next move that I think should buff, which goes back to everything I've been talking about, like, with this, going here, on block, it's down for this, right? I think this move is bad. This move is not good at all. At the highest ranks, this is reactable. It's so reactable. It's not even a joke. Like, it's a joke move. So, whether on, like, whether he goes into send or he doesn't, on block, right? Just duck jab. It does not matter. Just duck jab. Some characters have jabs that are very low hitting, and it's able to hit him out of this, and it option selects, like, I can't think of the name. I think maybe Zafina was able to do it. I don't remember who it was, but it was like some kind of girl character, maybe. But I was fighting someone, and they were able to option select this thing, right? I just think it makes no sense for people to do that when I'm just trying to check them with a 14 frame move. And it's like, if I'm checking you with a really shitty 14 frame move, the most I get is 40 damage, or 38, but I push you far away, and then I have to reset neutral, and it's very bad. Like, even trying to get the shoulder is very, very tough to do. So you have to have perfect timing, and it's very tough to do, right? It just makes no sense that it's -11. It should just be -9, because the only time you should get punished is if you're going into silent entry. That's really weird. But the fact that people could just duck jab, you just lose your turn for trying to check something. It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. You're telling me Fing has a down forward 1 that's 0 on block, and it's safe, and it pretty much gives him like giga frames if you counter him. It just makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense. So, the other thing that I think makes no sense is, why is this not guaranteed anything in heat? This guarantees nothing in heat. Right? I don't know why that is the case. Yeah, I don't get any combos, but if I were to do this, hold on. If I were to do the counter hit, sway back, I get a combo. This makes no sense to me. This being a very unsafe move and guarantees only silent entry 1 does not give me anything in heat. And there are times where you could even lose heat on accident for doing this move, and doing the follow up, right? It makes no sense to me. It should be -9, and yeah, it should just be -9. And it should guarantee something in heat. It just makes no sense to me that it's taking this all, and there's nothing guaranteed in heat. Like, you literally do not get anything. It's kind of crazy. That's not even guaranteed. Like, it's kind of wild. I just don't know why this is so good. That's not even guaranteed. Maybe down 3, but dude, it's not. That's not anything, I also think, now this might be a bit crazy, call me a bit crazy, but if down forward 2 could crumple stun, down forward 2 to crumple stun, would allow for a lot more interesting things to happen. Right? Like, imagine if your normal down for 2 could actually be like this again. This is all he needs. I don't know why it's so hard for them to give him a counter hit tool, because you literally just, this is just too slow. This is just too slow. To check people, it's just too slow. And to get to this situation, you have to risk a lot of moves. This, you can't just throw it out in the open, because it's like fucking a 20 frame counter hit move, and it's very bad. It should counter hit. I think it should counter hit. It wouldn't even be good, to be honest. Like, I think even if he were to do that, he'd still lose. This is very linear. This is a very linear move. You know? Look at all these other characters who have like down forward 1. I mean down forward 2. It's like -7. Lars should have the same thing, would be like -9. You know, I think it'd be cool. It'd be really cool. Anyways, enough about down forward 2. Alright. I think at most it should just be -9 and allow for send 1 in heat. That's really it. But I think counter hit launch would be really good too. The next move, down back 1-3 should be +3. It makes no sense if you're risking your life and then you just lose your turn to a duck jump or a side step. It makes no sense to me. It's like you risk so much. You're -1 here. If you finish the string, you're still risking it. You know, you're like really risking it now, because this is just a check. But then if you commit, they can jump and then you die. It should be +3 just so that you can at least, you know, try to do something. This doesn't let them interrupt, and then off standing 2 will track sidestepping. It makes no sense to be -1 and lose like everything. It just makes no sense. Now, next move. This move, it's still useless. Been useless since the end of time. Okay, down back 2. It's only good in like combos, but it's very bad in neutral. So you can hold 3, but it doesn't really do anything. You're only +8, but like look at the distance that you put them at. You lose your turn. You lose neutral. What can I follow up with? I could try to do that, but if they backdash, I lose. If they sidestep, I lose. It makes no sense. So I think that down back 2-3, it should just crumple stun. Like the last hit, it should just crumple stun like that. The reason why I say that is because this is a silent entry move. This is a silent entry move. Down back 2 forward is a silent entry move. So if you have this as a counter hit, it makes people scared. Like at the current stage, it's like this. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So down back 2-3, you're gonna see I'm gonna mash. I'm mashing. It doesn't do anything. I'm only +8, but if I block, it's -13. It just makes no sense. It's like, dude, oh, I think he's gonna go to silent entry. Let me try to duck jump that. And it's just, oh, I ended up just pushing my opponent far away from me, and now he can just backdash, and now I have to try to get back, you know, close range and attack him. It should just be a counter hit launch. Now we're getting to like the last move that I think needs to get buffed. Full crouch 1+2 is very bad. It's very bad. Like the damage, very good, but it's just so slow, dude. Like this to this loses to backdash. This is just not worth it. You lose to so many things: backdashing, sidestepping, and then the fact that it's like just so slow and you die for it a lot. It's not great. And you're only +1. You don't really get advantage. You could try to do 1-1, but that's very useless at the high ranks because most people will just sidestep after that, or you know, they don't care. They will duck jab too. And that usually just beats all options. Or they do armor at the high ranks. It's like, you know, it's like, dude, it's just so hard to do this. Like, at least try to, you know, make you respect this shit. And it's still not my turn, okay? I just think that normally it should be like, you know, maybe +4, +5 on hit. Like, you know how Elisa has her full crouch? It should be like that. Because then it really forces people to start ducking. It really forces people to start ducking. And Lars can actually start applying like mid checks and mix-ups, you know, like down 2 and stuff like that. The other thing too is that this on counter hit doesn't really do much. So if people are trying to contest you like in here, do this, you pretty much lose. You don't really get that much advantage, you know. I think that it should be like Kazuya's down back 4, where it like kind of makes them pick up their feet like this, to really make them like scared, like, oh shit, Lars has advantage, I gotta back off, you know. And it allows Lars to do another whatever the fuck he wants, you know. Like whether if I want to go to Den, like just do a Den 3, you know, do like down back 1-2 or something, you know. Like if I were to do that, it allows us to go here. Being at +17 allows us to go here. See, now I can check you with this, you know. I can check you with this. I can check you with this, you know. That's what he needs. Now, if we're getting into season 2 terms where Lars gets a new move, I think the new move that he needs is like a hatchet kick that allows him to stay in neutral, okay? He has no good lows that let him stay in neutral besides these. This is like the only one, but it's -3, and it's really bad. You could do this, but it's like 10 damage, and it leads to nothing. This is very linear, it's very bad. So, I think he needs a new move that's like down back 3, because this is currently no command. It's just a free move. Like it's, you know, nothing. Down back 3 should be a hatchet kick that's like 20 damage, like a dragon of down back 3 +4. It should be launch, okay? Because it's not Lars if it ain't launch, okay? I don't think it needs to be like -26, but -15 at the most. Because, you know, fighting someone like Steve, you literally have like no lows. You die to everything. So it being -15 would be fair. So what does this low do? I think it should be a hatchet kick low that can still be canceled back, like 2-1 back, and you can still stand up. But down back 3 should be a hatchet kick that allows you to go straight into send and start a send mix up, right? And this should be the case. So it has some flexibility, you know, it has some flexibility instead of just having to do this. And 2-1 to allow us to go into send with plus advantage. This is the only time when send is allowed to have plus. This is not plus at all, and this is like the only like other way. You could go here too, right? 1-4, the only +1, and that means you lose the duck jab still, you know. So like everything, you can't even do this to check them, you lose. So it's like a you know, equal trade. But that's what I'm thinking, is that it should definitely, you know, be something chunky that still allows them to stand up and play around like this instead of having to go to crouch, you know. Like allow me to sidestep, allow me to poke with down forward 1, down forward 2. I think it should be a chunky low that's like +6 or +5. So it could just allow for this. That's really it. So that's what I think Lars should do. Again, summary. At the current state, he is very underwhelming and underpowered. I just think that, you know, I understand that lower ranks, they don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm talking like at the higher ranks, pro level, no one uses him because he's so bad. Everyone's doing safe strings pretty much, so it's really hard to get anything started, right? Like even at most, you're like -10, -12 with, you know, fighting Lars, right? And his toe frame is really good because it goes to this and it allows you to do a den mix up that. But, you know, at the highest range, you go into pretty much Lionheart and you go to nothing more. And as soon as they block something, you lose your turn, and then you're back to just holding back. He doesn't have any good plus frame. this is pretty much useless. It's good for what it does, but you lose to sidestepping easily, you lose to jabbing, same thing for jab 3, you can't just throw it out in neutral. You know, he suffers from a lot of like plus frame issues, right? And even when he is plus, it's not scary. So I just think he needs counter hit tools, more plus frames on some tools, especially when they're high risk, very slow. It should be plus, just to give him a little bit more oomph. And he needs a new low that allows him to still stand and be in neutral and go to limited entry, which is a very, very underrated and underused stance. Like, even then, when I see people go into silent entry with heat, no one really wants to go to limited entry because it's fast. You're telling me I do this, I'm -9, I lost my turn. This is only 35 damage, you know? So I think it should change. I think one thing I should clear up too is that limited entry 1, when I said that it should counter hit, it should counter hit launch, but on normal hit it should just do this. On normal hit it should just do this, but counter hit it should pretty much launch, or you know, allow us to do some kind of guaranteed damage. Yeah. Buff Lars, man, underrated, underused. No pros use him. No one uses him. Gets to top 8 at like real big Tekken tourneys. But yeah, you know, for all the low rank people out there, just lab him. He's not even hard. You could jab most of his mix up. He's just like a gimmick character. Like, dude, this guy is fucking trash, bro. And if it's like a Lars v Lars mix up matchup, it's just like whoever doesn't respect the other person's frames, you're gonna win. Because most Lars try to do these, you know, fake setups, and you know, even I do it too, because he's very hard to even get started. Like, just throw this shit out in neutral, bro. See what people do. You might die for it, but who cares? It's not a real mix up. -3. Anyways, yeah, Lars, underwhelming, underpowered. I've been wanting to make this video for a while now, so here we are. Anyways, Buff Lars devs, he needs it. Let's see some, you know, top tier players get him to top 8 in a tournament. That's what that pretty much proves that he's like a balanced character. He's good, you know, he has something, you know. Like, even Horang is very bad, but you take a look at Korea's like Edge, he's very good. Like, Edge makes Horang look top tier as fuck. You know, it's crazy. But anyways, that's all. Bye bye.